Everyone knows who Alexander the Great is, but only a few know that an empire was created just after his death. The Seleucid Empire is an ancient kingdom that spanned from the Mediterranean Sea to present-day Iran. It was founded by a general named Seleucus I Nicator around 312 BC and lasted for over 2 centuries. During these 2 centuries, the Seleucid Empire experienced a lot of ups and downs, along with some unbelievable events that we will try to cover in this short video. So, let's dive in and explore the many reasons that removed the Seleucid Empire from existence. After Alexander the Great defeated the Persian Empire and its last ruler, Darius III, he died in 323 BC at a young age. His sudden death left his massive empire full of a mix of Greek and local cultures without an adult heir to take over. Because of this, a leader named Perdiccas stepped in to manage the empire as a regent. In that same busy year, an important meeting was held in Babylon where Alexander's trusted generals, who had fought many battles with him, decided to split up his empire. This big decision, called the Partition of Babylon, turned these experienced soldiers into powerful local rulers, paving the way for new leadership and changes in what would happen next with Alexander's empire. From there, the Seleucid Empire was born. Seleucus, one of Alexander the Great's most trusted generals, was appointed satrap of Babylonia in 321 BC, just 2 years after Alexander's untimely death. It was crystal clear that after Alexander died, his big empire started to fall apart. His generals began fighting each other to see who could take control. Seleucus was one of these generals, and he teamed up with another general named Ptolemy from Egypt. Together, they went up against Antigonus, who had kicked Seleucus out of Babylonia. Then, something surprising happened. Despite having fewer soldiers, Seleucus won a big battle called the Battle of Gaza in 312 BC. With Ptolemy's help, Seleucus showed great skill and got Babylonia back. By 305 BC, Seleucus had strong control over Babylonia and began to grow his empire. He moved east towards the Indus River and west into Syria and the area now known as Turkey, called Anatolia. In 301 BC, he fought a big battle called the Battle of Ipsus and won against Antigonus, which gave him a lot more land. In 281 BC, Seleucus added more land, called the Thracian Chersonese, to his empire, showing he was a smart leader. Sadly, that same year, his rule ended unexpectedly when he was killed by Ptolemy Ceraunus, the unhappy son of Ptolemy I. But guess what? Ptolemy Ceraunus was not appointed as the next ruler. Instead, Seleucus' son Antiochus I Soter took the throne and became the new ruler of the Seleucid Empire. Under his rule until 261 BC, the Seleucid Empire continued to grow stronger and more stable. Then came Antiochus II from 261 BC to 246 BC. After him, Seleucus II took over until 225 BC, followed by Seleucus III for a short time until 223 BC. The stage was then set for Antiochus III, famously known as Antiochus the Great, who ruled from 223 BC to 187 BC. His leadership was exciting and full of change. Antiochus III made some thrilling reforms that changed things up in a big way, inspired by the old Persian systems that Alexander the Great once used. He gave local leaders, known as strategoi, the power to handle both military and civilian jobs. The empire had 2 important cities, Sardis in the west and Seleucia on the Tigris in the east. These cities helped connect a massive area where culture and power flourished. The Seleucids had a stronghold on regions like Anatolia and its shining Greek cities, capturing not just land, but also the trade and rich culture of the Middle East. They controlled important mountain passes and waterways, creating a web of trade and political power that left everyone amazed. In lively places like Antioch in Syria, the Seleucids' strong army, rich economy, and sophisticated culture made a lasting impression on history. Here, let me tell you one thing. The Seleucid Empire wasn't just about politics. It was also a lively center for Greek culture, known as Hellenistic culture. Imagine a time when Greek customs were everywhere, even in a place as mixed as the Middle East. In the cities, people who spoke Greek and came from Macedonia were in charge. But things changed a lot during the rule of Antiochus IV, from 175 to 163 BC. He loved Greek culture so much that he did something shocking. He put a statue of Zeus in the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. This was a big problem for the Jewish people because it went against their beliefs. And guess what? Antiochus didn't stop there. He ordered people to build idol shrines and sacrifice pigs, while also banning key Jewish customs like circumcision, threatening those who disobeyed with death. These harsh actions led to the brave Macedonian Revolt, starting around 165 BC. After fighting hard for about 25 years, the Jewish people finally won. They took back Judea and started their own independent Jewish state in Palestine. Then what? The mighty Seleucid Empire, once a dominant force across a vast territory, began its decline in the 3rd century BCE. The cracks in its expansive facade first appeared as the empire started losing grip over large regions, signaling the beginning of an era of fragmentation and loss. The turning point came in 190 BCE, when the Seleucids suffered their first major defeat at the hands of the Romans. This defeat changed everything. Making other regions more confident, they started looking to break away or switch sides. By this time, the Aegean Greek cities had already cast off the Seleucid rule, while territories like Cappadocia and Attalid Pergamum declared independence. There was also an encroachment by the Celts, as well as a loss of territory to the rising powers of Pontus and Bithynia. By the middle of the 3rd century, the situation got worse for the Seleucid Empire. Regions far away like Parthia, Bactria, and Sogdiana managed to become independent. This greatly reduced the power of the Seleucid Empire in the east, but they were not the ones to lose hope. Yes, that's right. Despite these setbacks, Antiochus III attempted to recover some of the lost glory, notably with his conquest of Coele Syria and Palestine around 200 BCE. There was also a brief occupation of Armenia, which somewhat compensated for the extensive territorial losses to the Romans and much of Anatolia. However, these gains were only temporary, as the empire's decline hastened following the death of Antiochus IV in 164 BCE. Not long after, critical regions such as Commagene in Syria and Judea in Palestine slipped away from Seleucid control. By 141 BCE, the empire had lost all its eastern territories beyond the Euphrates River. Efforts by subsequent rulers like Demetrius II and Antiochus VII to stop the rapid disintegration proved futile. The empire continued to shrink under external pressures and internal conflicts until its eventual conquest by the Romans in 64 BCE. By this point, the once great Seleucid Empire was reduced to Syria and eastern Cilicia, regions which themselves were under tenuous control. This final conquest marked the end of the Seleucid reign, relegating it to a mere shadow of its former glory. And just like that, the Seleucid Empire was no more. But its legacy continued to live on in the regions it once ruled over, shaping history and leaving a lasting impact on the world. The empire's cultural and political influence lingered even after its fall, as seen in the spread of Hellenistic culture throughout these territories. The Seleucids may have been defeated by external powers, but their achievements and contributions still remain an important part of ancient history. So, this was a detailed journey through the rise and fall of the Seleucid Empire. There are several questions that still remain unanswered, such as what if Alexander the Great didn't die so young? What if the Seleucids managed to maintain their hold on power and expand further? These are just some of the what-ifs that make this period in history so fascinating. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting historical content. Oh, and one more thing. We love your support in the form of likes and subscriptions, but we would love it even more if you could support us through supers. Thanks for watching.